Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah. A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Honest J. Nowak, Mark of the Line. And now it's pretty much about time that I go on ahead and start talking a bit more about some other marks right here. I only got 4 days left. Yeah, this is going to be quite a day for me, as well as the other 3 that'll come around pretty soon. But until then, let's put our attention a little bit on another American company out there, known as Jeep. Starting back in 1941. Yeah, the timing is perfect right now. Jeep is turning 80 years old this year. And man, has it been quite a journey since then. The company itself has proven to be one of the best manufacturers in terms of SUVs, crossovers, and flex fuelers. Going as far back as 1942 and 1943, where they started manufacturing Jeeps of all sorts under the name Willys Jeep, pretty much. But after the 40s and 50s, they began to move on to making some of their own for civilian usage. And starting in the 1970s and 1980s, with models like the Cherokee, this was when Jeep started to become a huge sensation in the global marketplace, in the automotive industry itself, as the SUV was in fact starting to gain a lot of popularity throughout the years 1985 and 1995. Throughout those times, the SUV was not only becoming a big advancement compared to the station wagon, but it was also becoming a bit more of an efficient usage of resources of all sorts, as SUVs were proving to be more powerful than most of the other contenders out there. And the station wagon was not necessarily getting a lot of glamour as it used to during the 60s, 70s, and 80s. By the 90s was when they started to not do so well, especially when you get down to the Oldsmobile Custom Cruiser, Buick Roadmaster, and Chevrolet Caprice Classic Wagon, as they were probably some of the last that had ever shown up in the 90s before pretty much dropping the station wagon entirely. Although the wagon is still an existing body type, and some car manufacturers have actually gone ahead to recreate it. You could basically take a look at the Subaru XV Crosstrek or the new Buick Regal GS, which also exists as a wagon, not just as a grand sports sedan, pretty much. But out of all models out there in Jeep's library, there are in fact quite a lot to choose from, by today's standards. You have yourself the Cherokee and Grand Cherokee, Compass, Renegade, and then of course more recently, there was the Gladiator pickup truck, which was a classic model way back in the day. But unfortunately, it did not do so well. But just like when Ford brought back the Bronco, Jeep had managed to bring back the Gladiator, and man, is it doing very well at this point in time. It's probably safe to say that there's probably going to be a trend taking place throughout this next decade or so, where a lot of older models that had flopped back then are going to be brought back at some point. If Ford brings back the Thunderbird, if Buick brings back models like the Roadmaster and the Park Avenue pretty much, and if Chevrolet were to bring back some models out there, including the Monza, Chevette, Citation, Beretta, Corsica, Lumina, and some others pretty much, the Uplander and all that good stuff, then maybe we can pretty much get ourselves quite a thing to take place. Because, well, that's just kind of how it is. So Jeep brought back the Gladiator recently, just how it's like how Ford brought back the Bronco, and Chevrolet had brought back the Blazer and Trailblazer, and some other companies have done some of the same things entirely. Jeep is, without a doubt, still one of the best in the business by this point, and it's still going very strong by continuing to sell some of these new models out there, and some of the same models that they have been selling for the past few decades. But still, there's lots of contenders out there in today's part of the marketplace, and you could probably expect anything to happen by this point. So it's a bit hard to tell at this point. So I feel like that's probably going to cut it for today. So hopefully you're still enjoying what's left of HJN, as there are now only 3 days left to finish this entire season. So be sure to stick around for some more content out there and some more stuff relating to HJN, Marque of the Line specifically. And if you want to see more, go down to my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.